Welcome back to another episode of Your Daily Real Estate. I'm Tristan, and this episode is brought to you by abrillianttribe.com. Check us out. We just launched what's called the Visionaries for teams and brokers specifically. Pretty amazing. Check it out. Now let's talk about what it looks like to hire a virtual assistant, whether it's your first, a second, or you've got a whole bunch like I do. I think I've got over 50 now. Now, the very first thing I look for is I look for either trying to contact someone out in a different country or in the US, and I like to make it through somebody that I know. So if it's somebody in my organization or a friend or family, or I post it up on social to see if my sphere knows somebody, that's where I typically go first. And the reasoning behind that is they know how I work. And so they understand, oh, Tristan is probably looking for somebody like this and like this and like that. Yes, that's worked for me really well for the last 15, 16 years of doing this. And I would say that's probably the easiest way. You can also go to Indeed. You can post it up on different sites and look to see, hey, who can I bring into my organization? The other option is when you're going direct to an outside country like the Philippines or Mexico or somewhere else, the best bet is to find somebody that you can go direct. Skip the company that's going to charge you $12, $13 an hour, where you can go direct if you have a good source. And in this way, you can find somebody and pay them $6, $7, $8 an hour. And that's definitely legal in that country. And what you find is you find somebody that's performing at an extremely, extremely high level. The challenge most of the time is that when you're using a middle company, they're the ones that are keeping half, up to half, or even sometimes more of that fee. So not a lot of it is going to those people that you're hiring. The next thing is I would outline to see what it looks like for that person coming into your organization as far as what are their duties daily. That means you're going to outline and do a step-by-step process and say, these are the things that I'm not that great at that I want to outsource. And I'll give you an example. If you're looking to hire a marketing director or a marketing manager or a marketing admin, I would look to see the things that I'm not the greatest at that I would want done. Posting to Instagram, posting to Facebook, creating these amazing graphics and flyers on Canva, getting me pictures that look amazing, or even upgrading some of the pictures I already have, maybe fixing my website, getting my newsletter done on a weekly or monthly basis, getting the content for it, maybe going into ChatGPT and outlining my next 30 days for video content or the next 10 days for video content, and then having them edit and upload. The point is you're going to have to decide what this looks like for you so you know who you're hiring. A lot of the times we don't know what the job duty is because we don't take the time to slow down and do that. Now, a question that I often get is, Tristan, if I'm going direct to the Philippines or direct to Mexico, where would I go and hire? Number one, for the Philippines, it's online.jobs.ph. That's an amazing place to go to. There's no middle person in between taking that monthly cost or monthly fee. There are some fees, but it's not what you normally see with these other big companies. So now that you have this outline of who is going to do what on a daily basis, weekly basis, and so forth, now you're going to go and interview the candidates, and now you have better questions to ask. Say, hey, what's your experience with this? How long have you been doing it? What tools do you use? What tech do you use? Do you have great internet connection? Do you have a reliable computer? Right? And one of the things that I found too is that for the most part, hiring someone that is going to make calls for you that are outbound isn't always the best, only because when we've tried it, the multiple times we've tried it with the thousands of people they called, there's a misstep sometimes in the culture, unless you've got your processes and systems down in the training, right? For us, we love to have the VAs that we have, that if they're outside of the US, we like to have them just nurture our database. We like them to be marketing directors, marketing managers, admins, or executive admins. Anything that has to do more of the internal work, or any repetition, or any work that needs to be repeated over a longer period of time, that if you put it on me, I'm going to drop the ball, right? Stuff like that. And when you look at the next step after you hire them and you're like, that's the person I'm going to hire, let's do a 90-day window and see if they end up working well. I typically do this. That's for the first 90 days. They have a set hourly rate. And then if they do well and I decide to keep them, I'm going to up them by another amount, whatever that amount is for you. And the number one key to this in success for hiring somebody, virtual assistant wise, communication. You've got to communicate consistently, often. Find those avenues that you're going to use to communicate with them throughout the day, throughout the week, consistently. And if they don't produce the type of content that you want them to produce, make sure you're showing them what it would look like if they were going to produce that type of content. One of the best things I did early on was, when I identified the type of video editing I liked or the graphics, I would grab that and send it over to them and said, this is the style that I want. Now reproduce it for me, for something that would represent me. Add a little bit of twist, right? And it takes time. Be patient with people and treat them like people. Sometimes I watch agents and business owners treat their virtual assistants, people. I watch them treat them like tech, like tools, like software. And I don't know about you, but I want the people that work with me to feel like I actually care about them, because I do. They perform better and I get better results. So if you have questions about this, which I know you probably do because we went really fast, right? Send me a message. I've got a lot of different PDFs on cycles, 90-day. I've got outlines for what a marketing director, executive admin should do. If you need help sourcing it, I can also help you with there. Just message me on Instagram, and I'll happily get back to you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.